Tonight on Connecticut's news station, help from the feds after catastrophic flooding is one step closer. We're getting an update as teams survey the damage.
And the man accused of breaking into a nonprofit in the capital city appears in court. We're hearing from his family, who says he is innocent.
Plus, the previously popular e-scooters are making a comeback, where you'll soon be able to access them and when.
Now at 6, this is Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
Good evening and thanks for joining us for the news at 6. I'm Brent Harden.
And I'm Bridget Bjorlo. Communities in southwestern Connecticut are coming together as they wait for help from the feds to rebuild their homes and roads.
Now, just more than a week since historic flooding, teams from FEMA and the Small Business Administration are finally here assessing the damage.
Fox 61's Julie LeBlanc takes us to their first stop in Oxford.
We'll be here on the ground until the job is done.
10 days after a historic storm ripped through Oxford. A major step toward receiving federal help from FEMA and the Small Business Administration.
Oh, we're going to go over to the church here.
Crews are making their way around New Haven, Litchfield, and Fairfield counties, taking pictures, speaking with homeowners, and documenting the damage.
Going out and surveying all the damage that residents had already self-reported to validate those damages and confirm if we meet certain thresholds for a potential major disaster declaration.
This preliminary assessment here is all about homes and businesses as they make their way to the hardest hit areas here in Oxford.
I'm happy to see that they're here. You know, it really makes us feel seen at that point. I mean, we're all going through this together.
Their presence coming as a pleasant surprise to homeowners like Arthur Powell, who hasn't been able to live in his home since the storm.
We lost a furnace, a hot water heater, washer, dryer, freezer full of meat.
Like most others in Oxford, Powell doesn't have flood insurance and will take any help he can get.
It's absolutely devastating.
Amongst the crowd of assessors, the SBA is looking into who qualifies for low-interest loans to help homeowners rebuild or keep businesses afloat until more help comes through.
For the physical side for SBA, we just have to demonstrate 25 homes or businesses that had greater than 40% uninsured losses. On the economic side, we just have to show 5 businesses that suffered economic loss.
Bill Turner says already more than 200 businesses and 2,000 homeowners self-reported damages or impacts.
Some of these folks are still trapped in their houses.
And further down the road, more federal eyes on flooding, with U.S. Senators Chris Murphy and Richard Blumenthal documenting details to bring back to Washington.
We are going to make our best case to FEMA to be able to get as much reimbursement here as possible.
In Oxford, Julia LeBlanc, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
Julia, thank you. FEMA and the SBA will continue assessments of homes and businesses through the end of this week. Then next week, more teams will go out to analyze damage to public buildings, roads, and bridges. When all is said and done, the state plans to use that information to submit its major disaster declaration from the start of next week, and then it'll be sent to the White House, which will then make its overall determination. So we'll be following that closely. Also, Senator Richard Blumenthal visited Southbury today to meet with farmers impacted by the historic flooding. Farmers across southwestern and western Connecticut lost crops and livestock. Many properties were also damaged. Blumenthal, along with members of the USDA, shared resources with those impacted and helped them apply for assistance.
Students in Seymour returned to the classroom today as planned. There was no damage to the school building, so the superintendent wanted to establish a normal routine for kids after a chaotic week. And this morning, local leaders were at the front doors as students made their way inside for the first time.
Kids coming off the bus, hugs, high fives, just sharing how happy they are to be back.
Just happy to get Seymour back to some sort of normalcy, have the kids get on with their lives and have the normalcy that they deserve to have.
The Seymour superintendent says some staff members are facing a longer commute due to lingering road closures.
Turning to the weather now, a lot of kids returned to the classroom today, and they were met with some heat and humidity.
They sure were. Chief Meteorologist Rachel Frank joining us now to talk about that. Rach, how long does that last?
Yeah, this is it. It's one and done. Yeah, my kids got off the bus. How was your first day? Hot. That's all I got out of them. Right now, temperatures are in the upper 80s to near 90 degrees. However, when you factor in the humidity, it really feels like near 100 right now for the New Haven area, like 95 in Windsor Locks. But as we head through the evening, evening tonight, not only does the temperature drop off, but the humidity will too. 88 right now in Hartford and 84 currently in Chester. We do have a cold front that's working through. There is a slight chance for a shower with that as we head through the evening tonight, but most of the state will stay dry. Here's a look at the dew point, which is a measure of how much moisture there is in the air. Right now, you'll see we're up near 70, which is in that tropical category. But if you look to the north, you'll see that comfy air waiting in the wings, and that will come whooshing in here as we head through the evening and overnight. Noticing how close showers get to us. Again, that's why we say it's a close call overnight, but most of them end up missing us. Overnight lows will drop back into the 60s as we head towards daybreak, and tomorrow it's completely different at the bus stop. Cooler temperatures beginning in the 60s, finishing in the 70s by afternoon. We do have a change or a tweak to the timing of rain for this weekend. We're going to talk more about how that will impact your plans coming up.
All right, Rachel, talk soon. Thank you. And new tonight, the family of a burglary suspect says the owner of a Hartford nonprofit is lying.
And today, tensions boiled over outside Hartford Superior Court during an argument we caught on camera.
Fox 61's Matt Caron brings us both sides of the story tonight. Matt?
Jendaya Scott Miller is the owner of the Hartford nonprofit Angel of Edgewood. She claims that back on May 29th, a man named Arthur Gunn broke into her facility and stole donated items. But Gunn's daughter is pushing back, saying that her father is being targeted.
But he went there with somebody that had permission, that had access to the building.
Then why didn't they go through the trash chute?
A heated argument Wednesday outside Hartford Superior Court in response to the arrest of Arthur Gunn.
You telling me my dad went through the trash chute?
Yes, nobody used the door.
He's charged with burglary and larceny for allegedly breaking into the Angel of Edgewood nonprofit headquarters on Washington Street in Hartford in May, at least once.
It is emotional. I'm still frustrated.
Allegedly stealing more than $90,000 in donated items.
We are still trying to rebuild after being robbed.
I don't think she had all that stuff that she's claiming. Over $90,000 worth of merchandise? Yeah, right. I don't believe it. You live on Edgewood. Stop it.
Gunn's daughter Charmaine says her father was provided access to the headquarters by one of Jendaya's volunteers, who hired him to help clean.
My dad is homeless. Where is he taking all this stuff? Where is he bringing it? Where is he storing it at if he don't even have nowhere to go?
According to the Hartford Police Department, Arthur Gunn was arrested after his DNA was found on items inside the secure facility.
Of course his DNA gonna be there. He cleaned up a couple of times.
The break-in at the nonprofit caught the attention of state lawmakers, fellow nonprofit leaders, who wrote these letters to the state's attorney demanding Gunn be prosecuted to the fullest extent. It even prompted a visit by Senator Richard Blumenthal.
Even angels need a little lift once in a while.
Who secured more than $700,000 in funding for the nonprofit to upgrade their facility, including new security cameras.
I'm very grateful for the people that stand behind us and support us, and he's not going to get away with it.
My dad's not that type of guy. My dad can't even hardly walk.
Fox 61 discovered that Gunn is a convicted felon, previously convicted of a forgery incident. He was also involved with multiple previous burglaries. He'll be back in court next on October 9th. Outside Hartford Superior Court, Matt Caron, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
Let me know you'll be following it, Matt. Thank you. The man arrested after an infant was found dead in a Milford motel bathroom has pleaded not guilty to 2 charges. Dale Kirkland appeared in court today. You see him here. Police say he checked into the Mayflower motel with a baby girl on August 21st, but checked out the next day without the baby. A housekeeper later found her in a bathtub. Kirkland is currently charged with the risk of injury to a child and cruelty to persons. The state is waiting for the final results from the medical examiner's office and says more charges could be on the way. Kirkland's bond is set at $1 million. He's due back in court in about a month from now.
A teen faces charges tonight after allegedly making a threat toward Cromwell High School. Police say the threat was made on Snapchat. A 16-year-old is now facing multiple charges, but police say the teen did not intend on carrying out any threats. And Naugatuck police responded to a threat at City Hill Middle School today. It was determined to be not credible, but precautionary actions were taken to ensure the safety and security of the school. Police remained at the school for the rest of the day as a safety precaution.
State police gearing up to increase patrols for this Labor Day weekend. Starting Friday at midnight through Monday at 11:59 p.m. You can expect to see more police out on the roads. Last year, state police responded to more than 5,000 calls over the holiday weekend, including more than 300 crashes, 2 of those being deadly. They also made 25 DUI arrests.